Yo guys, I hope you're all good and welcome back to another episode of the Drop In podcast. We have a seriously interesting and inspiring episode for you guys this week. As you'll soon see, it's a little bit different to previous episodes, but the opportunity arose to get this amazing guest into the studio, which I'm absolutely delighted about because it's been one of my favourite episodes to date. Standing at 6 foot 8 inches tall, weighing in at 180 kilos with an arm span of almost 7 feet, Tom the Albatross Stoltman was recently crowned the world's strongest man. And whilst Tom is first and foremost known for his insane feats of strength, there's just so much more to him than meets the eye, so he made an amazing guest for the podcast. The sport of strongman is not typically described as an action or extreme sport, but as you'll soon hear, it is one of the gnarliest things going, with athletes putting their bodies and lives on the line to take home that prestigious world strongman title. And after speaking to Tom, it was really interesting to see just how many parallels there is to bike riding as well as other action and adventure sports. Tom is one of the most chilled, down-to-earth guys you're likely to meet, and I really appreciate just how open he was to talk about some of the serious challenges that he's faced in life. From growing up with autism, which meant he suffered from severe social anxieties, he then goes on to talk about how he used sport to overcome this and deal with this disability before channeling what he now calls his superpower to get him to where he is today. So a massive thanks to Tom for coming on. I know he is inundated with media requests at the moment, so it was awesome to get him into the studio. As always, thanks to you guys for tuning in, but without much further ado, please welcome to the Drop In podcast, Tom Stoltman. Tom Stoltman, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for coming along.
Thank you for having me, man. It's going to be fun. So
this is class. Like I have to say, like when I started doing podcasts, interviewing bikers and some action sports guys about 6 months ago, I did not expect to be sitting here across from the world's strongest man, and for that world's strongest man to be from the Highlands. So it's absolutely insane. How can you even begin to describe how being able to tell people you're the world's strongest man?
Yeah, it's still not sunk in. I mean, everybody now just calls me Tom Stoltman, world's strongest man. So, you know, I've not really had time to myself yet. I've, had celebrations the last 2 weekends, but just not kind of had time in the house to take it all in. I mean, staring at the trophy, that's I know when it's real, but yeah, I mean, the emotions are still high. I look back at clips all the time, people send me stuff, and I thought it was a dream at first, but it's getting reality now, and it's, it's cool. I earned it, and like I said, from the Highlands, a small place, 5,000, 6,000 population, to take it back up here, it means so much to me and like the community as well. So yeah, I'm buzzed. I think I'll be buzzed for the rest of my life now. Like
I was gonna say, there's not many like sports or competitions that's like as kind of pure as just like that. You could say you're football world champion or you're whatever world champion, but like there's not too many sports. Like maybe like sprinting's one of them where you can literally say like you're the world's fastest man, world's strongest man. It's like something just like so pure that
it's a prestigious title, isn't it? Like people want to be, like you said, the fastest man, but I think the world's strongest man has that kind of prestigious man feeling about it, so it's cool.
Cheers for taking the trophy as well. I seen it in the back of the car when you came in, and then you like passed it over to me holding like one hand, thinking I could just like do the same, and pretty much nearly dropped it because it's definitely heavier than you make it look. So to go back, like when did the event happen? It's like about a month ago now, is it?
Yeah, so like just end of June, so the 20th or 2nd of June, so a few weeks ago. So
it's over in the States?
Yeah, States, California, Sacramento. So
I'm pretty sure a lot of people listening will be like kind of action sport followers and stuff, but I'm sure they've probably still had some like experience of watching World's Strongest Man and stuff like that. But to kind of give a bit of a recap, like how does that like event sort of weekend or week like look like? Is it like is multiple events? Like how's it structured?
It's called World's Strongest Man for a reason, because it is the hardest show you'll ever do. I mean, for me, it's kind of like extreme sport as well, because your body goes through pain like you never experience, your mind as well. So I mean, you start off with 25 people. There's 5 groups of 5. You do 3 days of qualification events. So I think there's 3 events a day, and you have to do 9 events, and the top 2 of each group goes through. So for example, in the qualifiers, there was lifting like 300k frame carries with just your hands. You're walking with 300k frames. You're loading big massive 120k whiskey barrels. They were like up to the size of me, so they were big this year. And then there's Atlas stones. There was a front hold. You hold a pickaxe in front of you for as long as you can. And then there was a train pull as well, so you had to pull a train. So, so yeah, I mean, again as well, Sacramento was 45 degrees. So going from Scotland, which is 13, 14 degrees we were training in, to go to there, you know, it's up there where like you can die doing this kind of stuff in that heat, you know. And there was a few people that tore their biceps off, tore their lats off, had to go to hospital, unconscious and everything. So, you know, it was a really kind of
like a gnarly
scary thing to be. I was like, you know, it's cool but scary, you know, like this is, I'm looking at them like, geez, you know, what's going to happen to me? But yeah, I mean, I was a buzz. So yeah, that was like the first 5 days. I mean, it was hard to get into it at first because obviously the heat and obviously like the COVID kind of thing. You're basically locked in a hotel and you weren't allowed to go out. The time difference as well. They lost my suitcase as well. So, you know, these things kind of are all in your mind. But yeah, I got kind of past the first day, got into the competition a bit more, was feeling good. Second day of qualifier again, feeling good. And then it was a stone off. So if you finish second in your group, you do a stone battle. So it's like you do at the stone back and forth, like 180k. As many times as you can, and whoever drops it at their side, or whoever doesn't go over the bar, is out. So thankfully I won that, and then I got through to the final. So then you have a rest day. So the rest day is just about recovering, chilling out. You know, I was spewing on the rest day and a bit sunstroke and stuff, so I was a bit nervous. You know, I think I lost about 3 or 4 kg in body weight, so I was like, crap, you know, what's going to happen here? Then the final came, and the good thing about the final is Luke was in it this year as well. And
we should probably mention that to people, just in case they're not listening, like Luke's obviously your brother.
Yeah, sorry, so Luke's my brother. And
your big brother.
Yeah, so the first event we got drawn against each other, so it was me versus Luke. And we had found this out the night before, and we were so pumped. We were like, oh, what an event to start. It was the frame, it was a yoke, so it was a like 500k yoke you walk with, and into like a 320k frame carry. So yeah, we were psyched up. There was a crowd there as well, and they were shouting out our names. They were shouting spicy, you know, the spicy Stoltman. So yeah, and again, Luke was beating me, and he dropped at the line, and I beat him. So, you know, I won the first event and off the final, and that really got me into the mood and got me psyched up, you know, the adrenaline going as well. And then the second event was called the turntable. So it's basically there's a big massive train, and it's on a circle, and you're pushing a turntable 360 degrees as fast as you can. And this was brutal because by the time we had hit this event, it was 45 degrees. It was the hottest it had been. So luckily I could go up last because I won the last event. So if you win the event, you go last on the next event. So I had the advantage of seeing what people were doing, and my God, people were passing out. They were taking a minute and a half to do it, and I was like, holy crap, this is going to be like brutal. So when I was going up, you know, I slapped myself in the head, banged myself off the wall, got myself kind of psyched up, and then ended up getting 48 seconds. So I beat the time by, I think it was 8 or 9 seconds, second place. So I was kind of like, what the hell, you know, I've done that. So yeah, I mean, and then the last event on the third day was the keg toss, came second. So that's the first day of the final. I was on a 7-point lead, the kind of biggest gap ever in World's Strongest Man history. You know, and then people were messaging me saying, oh, you're going to do it. But I kind of had my phone off because when you do that, it's a lot of distractions. And
yeah, for sure.
I mean, there's still 3 more events, and, you know, I could go and snap my bicep off. So I went to sleep quite comfortable that night. And then the next day, Brian Shaw actually started better than me. So it was log press. I failed a lift, and he ended up being 2 places in front of me on the log. Took the points down to like 4, and then in the deadlift he beat me by a place, took it down to 1 point. So into the last event, the Atlas Stones, there was 1 point between me and Brian Shaw. I was first, and so basically whoever won the stones won the competition. And, you know, I'm known for that, like the Atlas Stones.
Like your thing, is it?
But
yeah.
Still, I was shitting myself, man. It was because obviously, you know, like Brian's been in that position before. I've never really experienced what it's like to, you know, if I win this event, I'm going to be the best in the world. I never experienced that in my life. So I was kind of like saying to myself, you know, if I make a mistake, I'm dead. If I'm do this, do that. And it was all the kind of negative things that I didn't want were going through my head. Then Luke came in and just went absolute mental at me, started going, you're the best. And I was like...
He was in the top 10 as well, right?
Yeah, so he came 7th, yeah. So he basically...
It's insane.
He did his stone run just before mine. But then as soon as I was just had my head down and as soon as he finished, he charged through the doors and started going mental at me. And I was like, holy crap, like this. he was just saying everything. So then that kind of got me a bit like psyched up, and then the adrenaline going, and both went out, me and Brian, side by side. And then I think on the first stone he was beating me, second stone beating me, and he made a mistake. And you know, the good thing is I let someone else make the mistake, and then once he made that mistake, it was kind of just plain sailing for me. But I didn't realise I'd won until I looked over at the end to Brian. He was still doing it, and then I started celebrating and going mad. But yeah, World's Strongest Man is such a kind of, you know, brutal event. Most strongman events are one day, so to think you're competing for basically 7 days in that kind of heat, and you know, it's mentally you have to be kind of like really, really strong, or you're going to kind of just crumble under pressure. So it was fun.
Yeah, sounds like a bit of a roller coaster for sure. One thing I did say, like when you're watching it, it's like, I think similar to action sports where you're obviously like competing against each other, but there definitely seems, obviously between you and your brother, because there's that bond, but even with like other competitors, there does seem to be like a really good sort of camaraderie, maybe because it is so extreme or whatever, where you're sort of egging each other on and stuff at the same time. It seems like a really cool balance.
Yeah, 100%. You get that with like you said, the mountain biking, BMX. You put your body through crap. You know that this could be the last jump you ever do, and
yeah,
that's what they all respect. You know, it's the same with like basically any lifting you're doing. You know, like you're just like a big family. So if you forget something, they'll give it to you. If you not feeling very confident, people come up and comfort you and stuff, where you don't get that in kind of the team sports, you know, football, rugby and stuff. But in all these kind of extreme like mental sports, if you do a lift, everyone's going mental. All the athletes, it's the same with your sport as well. You do a great trick, everyone's just so psyched for you, and that's nice to see, because that pumps you up. And yeah, it's such a cool like big family, and it all comes together. So
yeah, when I was doing like the research for you coming on, I just been watching, like ended up just binge watching like tons of YouTube videos, and like that was obviously, seeing you win and stuff was amazing, but almost like more powerful was like sort of some of the clips where you'd see like yourself say like finish the, is it Atlas?
Yeah, Atlas stones, yeah.
You finish them like say first, but you're like, you celebrate for like 5 seconds, and then you're like turn around straight away and you're like G'ing on, whether it's your brother or whether it's some other random competitor. Which I was like, that's class,
that's because just because you said we know what we're putting our bodies through, you know, and you want everyone to finish, you know. That's the kind of main thing. It's the crowd pay the money, you want to put on a show, and that's what we're doing. So
that's cool. So that's this year. To sort of wind the clock back, I was gonna say a little bit, but quite a bit. Like, where did like strongman or lifting? I don't even know how you like get into it. Like, where did it all sort of start for you? Yeah,
so obviously this is where Luke comes in, my big brother. You know, Luke's 10 years older than me, so I'm 27, he's 37. So you know, when I was younger, obviously I have autism and stuff, and football was my thing. You know, that kept me, my head level, kept me kind of through school, through the academy, college. Football was the thing that, you know, if I didn't have a ball, I would melt down. And yeah, so then basically it just happened that all my mates had left to go to uni, and the football club was kind of going downhill, my local football club. So, you know, it was that age where they were partying and drinking and stuff, and nobody was turning up for training. The Highland Way, yeah. You know, I was about 15, 16, so I kind of just locked myself into a room and started just playing the Xboxes and stuff, you know, and then I was just getting mentally kind of a lot of stress, anxiety, you know, playing an Xbox all day, every day is not, you know, not the healthy for you. So started like just binge eating and stuff. I mean, I was like a twig, like, I don't know if you know Peter Crouch, the football player, but I was like him, like skinnier than that guy.
Really?
Yeah. And
okay, it's hard to believe.
Yeah,
now.
That's what a lot of people say, you know. And even at 15, I was about that, and I know
you're obviously always tall.
Yeah,
but
so basically he's tall and lanky, so I was always like that, and you know, I just didn't know what to do to put size on. So even when I was like binge eating in my room, would never put size on and stuff, and I think that's why I did it, because I never got fat. So and it was just one day Luke came in and said, "Oh, you know, do you want to come try lifting some weights and get yourself a bit confident, you know, around girls and with yourself and stuff?" So I kind of said, you know, yes, and I went with him and hated every single minute of it, and then quit the gym. And then for some reason, a few months later, I went back, and then when I went back, I was like to Luke, right, I'm going to try this, you know, properly. You're going to be my coach and tell me what to eat and stuff. And the thing I hated the most when I was back then was the DOMS, the every day when you wake up sore. That was like, how can a teenager function waking up sore every day, you know. It's like,
yeah.
I just want to be a normal teenager and not be like, feel something that's sore. So that's the thing that got into my head was like, how can people come to the gym, enjoy it, but then the next day feel like, crap, like, why do you do that you're worse than a night out, or it's like, how can you enjoy
every day?
Yeah, so it's like, and that's how I felt, and I couldn't get used to that for ages, but I just kept going, kept letting Luke kind of, you know, push me and stuff. So we were in Invergordon, our leisure centre. Then we moved to the Forge Gym in Inverness, which is kind of like a strongman strength gym. And Invergordon I was uncomfortable with because there was like loads of mirrors everywhere you looked, and there was guys grunting, and I was just a skinny guy. There was girls lifting more than me, and I was like, Jesus, you know, I was having that wee the wee pad on to squat and stuff. So yeah, I even started, like, I couldn't even lift 30 kilograms when I first picked up a bar. I was just really, really weak. Didn't have anything. But yeah, like I said, Luke helped me gradually get more confident. And then when I first seen my kind of first vein and like first bit of muscle, that's when I was like, wow, you know, this is actually working, and I'm, you know, looking a bit better. And that's when I kind of, my mind switched, and I was like, right, you know, this is what I want to do now. I want to like lift some weights, you know, look good in myself and be confident. And yeah, started growing pecs, growing shoulders, and just got addicted. You know, I just got addicted to being at the gym every day and lifting weights. I mean, when I was like 16, I started going maybe 6 days a week. And then I think with strongman, that came on me so quick because Luke entered me into Scotland's Strongest Man when I was like 18 years old. So I was the youngest and had never competed in my life. And I'm going to my first like national comp. So I was like, oh crap, you know, I'm not even starting at like junior level or first timers level. It's just straight into it. But then Luke had won it 3 times anyway. So I was kind of like, geez, man, like, these guys are like, whoa, you know, it's like they look like they're from the TV, you know, the superheroes, like 180 kilogram guys. Here's me, 110, 15 kilograms. But the thing is, you know, being from up here, we need to kind of, first when I started strongman, there was no Atlas stones, there was no log up here, there was no kind of proper equipment. So we had to either make it or just go find it, you know. So like, we'd have to maybe go out to the forest or something and cut a log or go find a stone that's circular enough to lift, you know. Whereas in Glasgow and Edinburgh, they have all this stuff on their doorstep a lot, you know. So I think that's what helped me get strong quick, because I had to go out looking for stuff. And those kind of, I mean, those natural stones are so much harder than putting tacky on you and lifting the circular ones. So, you know, anyway, we trained like that for a good year, and I ended up coming like 4th in Scotland, you know, at 18 years old. And then after that, that's when I was like, right, I've got the bag, you know, if I can do this with hardly any equipment, what am I going to do when, you know, I get equipment? So I got back home, bought some stuff. Again, I was just, you know, just for a bit of fun, you know, just to keep my mind busy and, you know, get me out the house and stuff. And then just ended up entering some junior stuff, won like the UK Strongest Junior, Scotland's Strongest Junior, went to like World's Juniors, and then competed more at Scotland's, went to UKs. And then when I went to UKs, again, I was competing against like Eddie Halls and that, and I was like, geez, you know, this is serious stuff. So yeah, and then it all just kind of kicked off. I always just, the thing that with me is like, Luke never ever let me quit, and that's what I've done every time in my life before the gym was quit. If things got hard, I would just be like, no, I'm not doing it. You know, if a hurdle got in my way, I would just be like, I'm not doing it. And although I quit the gym once, he kept pestering me to go back, and that's the good thing about him, you know, because he kind of really pushed me to kind of go pat out my comfort zones, you know. People stared at me, he said, don't care, just concentrate on yourself. You're in the gym for one reason, and that's to get yourself better and to improve you. And that's why I like this kind of sport, you know, because you don't have anyone else to kind of, you know, help. You don't have to rely on anyone else. You have to go into the gym, do your own work. And if you don't work hard enough, you're not going to get the rewards and stuff. And that's why I really like that kind of stuff, because, you know, if I missed the gym 2 days in a row or something, I'd feel depressed, I'd hate it. And so it started just getting a normal routine for me. Then I didn't need Luke after a while, because Luke still worked offshore at this time, so he went offshore and he just left me with a training program, and then ended up starting getting a coach. And once I got that coach, that's when I was like, right, this is serious. And then I was working at the time at like a security firm, and I was in work. I said to message him, say I'm going home. Didn't tell my wife, so I quit my job with hardly any money enough, you know. I was just like, right. This was like a month before Christmas. Went home, and she was like, oh, why are you home? I was like, I quit my work. And she was like, what the fuck, you know, we need money, you know, blah blah this. And But then I promised her, like I said, look, I'll do good at Britain's Strongest Man. So I think I quit my work at...
Were you like a bouncer in like pubs and
so
stuff?
I was a bouncer, but then also did security at the construction sites as well.
I wonder if you've ever like... In Inverness?
Yeah, in Inverness, yeah.
I wonder if you've ever like chucked me or any of my mates out back in the day.
I hardly chucked anyone out, to be honest with you. A lot of them was just like, oh, can I get a selfie?
Just threaten them, and then they just leave themselves.
So it was... so that was like the thing. But then the thing is, like, what got me like wanting to do it full time and stuff and push my career like fast was Eddie Hall. I watched his documentary and he just said, he did the door work and stuff, and he just said, look, I just quit my job. I had nothing, but I was like, if I want to be the best in a sport, you need to do it and risk it. And you know, there's always a job there if it doesn't work for you. So that's what I said to my wife and my family. And then luckily everything went smoothly, and I kind of, because I think I quit my job when I was 23, 24ish or something, yeah. So then I just went full time strongman mode, and that's when the results went from like average to then, you know, great, you know. Like at 2018, I said I was going to be world's strongest man in 2021, and the only way I could do that was to fully focus on strongman, and I did that, and every year I got better, and then sitting here as a champion. So yeah, it's been a quick road, you know. I've had to kind of push myself, learn things differently than others, but I think Luke's a big influence in me winning World's Strongest Man, because if I didn't have him, I could have been just a normal guy sitting in an 8 to 5 job, you know.
Yeah.
So.
Nah, you mentioned that about like Eddie Hall. Like, is it Eddie the Beast Hall? He's obviously like a bit of a. I imagine he's like a bit of a sort of trailblazer for you guys, not just in terms of like performance, but also like carving a sort of commercial like path.
Yeah, I mean,
way of making money and stuff.
Eddie Hall's a blueprint, you know. Like if anybody looks at his strongman, like you said, out of strongman as well. I mean, he's supposed to be one of the most successful men in the world now. I mean, he's got his own TV show in America. He's done his own documentary. He's got another one coming out. He's in a Marvel movie. He's got an audio book coming out. It's like he's going to fight for in boxing, which so Eddie knows how to do business, you know, and kind of knows what's best for him, what's not. And yeah, he's the guy that I always kind of fall back on, you know, if I'm wanting to be like the business kind of side of things. So he's a good friend, you know. I lived with Eddie for a week as well, and got to do kind of his lifestyle, and by God, man, I thought mine was hard. His is brutal, man.
It's busy as hell. Like.
Yeah, and I mean, we had deep tissue massage every single day I was there. So I was there 8 days, and I got bladed down, women digging into me. Man, I was like, no, I can't do that. 8 days in a row. It's just...
So he's still like training hard, even though he's retired from.
Yeah, I mean,
Strongman.
yeah, he's got. When Eddie wants to do something at 100%, he always puts his whole like mind into it. So he's got a boxing ring in his house.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a chirotherapy chamber. He's got his own spa in his house. He's got a swimming pool. It's bonkers, man. I don't think it's a house now. It's a recovery centre. I feel sorry for his wife. So.
Convalescent. You talk about like back in 2018. There's like a clip of you saying to Eddie Hall, "I'm going to win it in 2021." What's the sort of science behind that? Like, is that like a random thing, or are you actually have you got like a path planned out 3 years ago that's going to culminate in you winning in 2021? Like, what's the thought behind that?
So basically, my mum passed away, I think 5 years ago, and then the 2 years she passed, I lost a lot of concentration. And then, so my mum was my biggest supporter, so I said I needed a plan, and I wanted to do a 3-year plan to win World's Strongest Man. And I said it to Eddie Hall, Milligan brothers who we're filming with, and I said it on social media as well, that in 2019 I want to get to the final with Luke. In 2020 I wanted to get on podium, and then in 2021 I wanted to win. I said it like that exactly, and then I don't know how it happened, but in 2019 I got to the final. 2020 obviously podium, and then 2021 win it. But because I said I wanted to keep that promise to my mum, I pushed harder than ever. Usually, you know, everyone makes promises and just said it doesn't mean a lot of them, you know.
Yeah, so when you make that one,
because obviously my mum passed away, so I was like, right, I want to put a 3-year plan in that's going to make me work harder than anyone for this person that like means the most to me. Because last year Eddie said to me at Worlds, "Oh, you've got 1 more year to fulfill that promise," and I was like, "Geez, you're making me, you know, putting pressure on me." And then I gladly did it, you know. So, and I'm glad I did it just because, you know, the plan worked out perfectly, and I said it and I backed it up as well. So yeah, it was that was kind of the kind of meaning behind it all, you know, the 3-year plan. So
I saw that in some other interviews that you and your brother have done, like talking about your mum passing and how you sort of dealt with that grief, and then it was really inspiring to hear how you kind of then, like, it sounds like you and your brother sort of channeled that grief into extra motivation that's culminated in you winning.
I mean, like, as well, because I used to never be good with kind of going past the pain barrier, and then like she suffered pain, with a strong man don't suffer pain. We self-inflict it ourselves. Like it's our fault that we're in this much pain and sore. So, and I couldn't get my head around that a lot until I kind of seen her, you know, on like on her deathbed and then passing away. I was like, right, she didn't want to be like that, but I want to like be in pain every day. So then that's when it kind of changed as well. And right, like my body, I should just be holding this until I'm dead, or holding this until literally my arms fall off and stuff. And that's when my mind switched to that. This isn't pain, you know, this is enjoyable compared to what they go through. So
that's really cool. She'll definitely be proud of you boys for sure. That's like super inspiring to see. Just go back to like your sort of brother and stuff. That's, well, I guess when I watch any of your stuff, there's definitely like a sort of, if I was to say there's one theme, it's definitely like family. Seeing the stuff with your brother, with your dad as well, like getting him a car on YouTube, which was class to see. Is it sometimes quite difficult when you're competing against your brother as well as like trying to be supportive of each other as well as competitive, or is it just kind of, does the brother thing just transcend that?
I mean, 90% of the time it's, you know, like if Luke doesn't win a competition, or for example, the World Strongest Man this year, if he said if he didn't win it, he wants me to win it, and I'm vice versa, where there's sometimes there is a wee kind of lively, like, especially on our good events. So if I'm going up against him on stones, I'm like, right, you know, you're dead in this one, you know. Like, and the same with log for him. He's like, because you know, he's classed as the best log presser in the world. So you know, if I beat him on a log, it's kind of like, but 90% of the time we're supportive. You know, when we're even at World Strongest Man, although we were in the final and against each other, we were still shouting on for each other, wanting the best out of each other. You know, and there's always been that, because like I said earlier, everybody knows what we go through. We're two brothers as well, and no one ever seen that before. Like, and I don't think it's ever going to get seen again. Like, I think me and Luke are still going to go to every World Strongest Man final until he retires. So we're just enjoying being like together in that final, enjoying competing around the world. And I think that's why the crowd like it, because we're not like, I hate you, brother. I want to die. And I think because we just have fun when we're competing, and we thrive off each other's energy. You know, we make each other laugh. I try and put him off sometimes by just like keep talking or nudging him and stuff, and he does the same to me. But then it's all light-hearted stuff. So yeah, we joke around like before, saying, like when I said when we were going against each other in the framing it, I was messaging him saying, you're dead, you're crap at that and stuff, and it's vice versa. But when we're out there, you know, we just do it, focus on ourselves. Afterwards, we have banter, cuddle, and that's it, you know. So yeah, it's all just good rivalry. So
do you sometimes think like the general public perceives you guys to be something very different to what you are, in terms like they just look at you, these big like strong guys, and think they're going to be like these tough sort of like harsh guys? But I think that's what I'm saying, like you show like your sensitive side, and I think people are almost like, especially even though they shouldn't, because like it's the same thing,
100%. I mean, even before Worlds, like even since we've opened our gym, you know, at the start there was a lot of people quite scared to come in, because when we're lifting, that we're more serious because that's our job, you know. And like it's the same probably when like you're riding stuff, you're more focused, and and if people come up to you when you're lifting, it's a bit like, can you stay away just now until we lift? And I think when you say that to someone, they think, Tom is aggressive or something, but it's just like we're trying to do our lift. But yeah, we've had people come in and like, and just we see them walk straight out because we're like lifting like 300k and like making noises, and they're like, oh crap, yeah, shit. But yeah, like when I first kind of started the strongman scene, and I seen like Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw, I was like intimidated. I was like, these guys are gonna kill me. I'm not going up to talk to them and stuff. And once you get to know them, they're like softest guys in the world, you know, like and it's actually more the average Jones that's scared off to other people, you know, because they try and be that kind of bigger guy,
to prove,
and they try and be like, they want to be like arrogant and stuff, and it's not nice to see. But we're like so welcoming, you know. Once it's nice with our gym now, because we've got like ladies, older ladies, younger guys, older ladies, everyone's just mixes, and they all mix together. Like when we're lifting, everyone now stops and goes around and starts shouting at us, and that's intimidating for us. I was like, 30 guys start going mental at you, and then when someone else is trying to PB, we'll go around and start going for them. But you always get that, you know. There's always that people that think, these guys are scary. But I think the YouTube stuff helps with our personality coming out, because, you know, we didn't have any YouTube and just did strongman. I think people, like you said, would think like much worse of us, like these guys are arrogant, these guys are mad, but then they see us on YouTube, they're like, oh, these are just soft, stupid, funny guys, you know. So I think the YouTube does help.
Yeah, it's like amazing to sort of give people that real like in-depth insight of like they obviously, like, you see you guys on the TV and stuff like in competition, but to then, I don't know, see you just cutting around like Inverness or Invergordon, like with your brother, just getting the crap, that's shows what you need. Like the human side.
But that's the kind of professionalism, you know. It's like when you're up there competing, you're there for a job, you know. You need to kind of switch that anger a wee bit and stuff, but as soon as you stop competing, if you're still angry like that, then yeah, that's arrogant. But then if you can switch off, go to the fans, enjoy it with them, that's when you know you're just a normal kind of human being, you know. So
yeah, that's cool. To go back to like the Asperger stuff, I saw in some of like your other interviews talking about is this the reason that made me think about it there was talking about how people would be like anxious around you guys, but it's just kind of ironic because you talk about how anxious you were like before you started doing going to the gym and stuff. You mentioned like a little bit about like sort of teachers and stuff saying that like you can't do that or you can't do this. How sort of integral has strongman and training with your brother and everything that comes along with it been to sort of getting you over that and dealing with those anxieties and moving forward?
Like, I don't say this, but gym's like saved my life basically, you know, because obviously sport, since I've been born, is a massive thing in my life, and that's the only thing I've really been good at. So to hear a teacher or to hear someone say, you know, you're never going to do this, for like, I don't say normal functioning people, they kind of take it a wee bit, but then for some with autism, they think about it and think about it and think about it. It's like, well, in 8 years' time, I could be nothing, you know, because of this person said it. But yeah, I mean, even when I first started the gym, I had my head down, didn't talk to no one, would only do like, if Luke said do 5, I wouldn't even talk to Luke. He said do 5 reps, put it down, not even nothing comes out my mouth, like literally nothing. And then I think what actually helped was when Luke went away offshore, like I had the option to quit or keep going. And that was the first hurdle, was to get over that first bit when I didn't have Luke there and I didn't have someone in my comfort zone to go come to the gym. So it was just, because I think Luke went when I was like 5 months into the gym. So then I kind of was like, right, now I need to man up. I'm like 17 years old now, you know, yeah, I've got autism and stuff, but I need to kind of control this and learn to live with it and learn to get over hurdles that are like pointless. And so I just started going, I started ending up just saying like hi, started saying hi to people, started saying, oh, can you help me spot me and stuff? And those wee words then helped, and then people then started coming like closer to me and it was like, oh, yeah, like started a wee conversation with me and just wee things every day. And then I started like coming out my shell, you know, and everybody knew I had autism because I was vocal with it in academy, and that's when, you know, that was the most scariest thing, telling someone about autism, because I thought I would get kind of, you know, bullied and stuff and everything, but as soon as I told, that's when all the weight went off my shoulders. And then again in the gym, when I kind of just, because every time someone talked to me, I said I've got autism, when I told them that, all the weight went off me. But yeah, I had so much support through the strongman game, with even from the first kind of day I went into the gym to now. I've always been vocal about it because, you know, people get labelled the wrong thing. You know, you can't see it like it doesn't. I don't look disabled, you know, I just look like a normal guy, but obviously I've got it, and that's what, you know, I hate. Because I know personally a few people with autism as well that are like me and have gone the total different direction in life because their parents, you know, didn't want anything to do with them. Everyone said, you're not going to do this. They had negative people around them. And for me, in the gym, I made sure I had like 5 or 6 positive people, a support base that I knew, right, these guys are with me because of me, not just because, oh, I wonder if he's going to get famous in 6-7 years, you know, that kind of stuff. So they followed me on my journey, you know, and then all kind of through the early years of strongman, if I got kind of stuck with things, I would, you know, go to them. And then what really hit me was when I did my first UK Strongest Man, was when like so this cameras and speaking came, and I was like, right, I didn't know strongman had cameras, you know, and I didn't know it was on TV. Yeah, that's what I was like, because I didn't know strongman was on TV then. I just thought, obviously I knew Worlds was, but I thought, right, crap, like how am I going to get past this? And then that was one of the things that I had to go backwards on. I was like, right, physically I can do everything, how I'm meant to talk to people, how I'm meant to do this that I don't know. Luckily, obviously, Luke was there, so Luke did all the talking for me. I just had my head down, and then Luke would say, "Is that all right, Tom?" Yeah. They obviously understood, but like Luke helped, and then that happened a good few times. I didn't really know what to do to help me. They would get a few words out of me, and I was just like, geez, I don't know how to kind of change this. But then I started putting cameras in my gym and like lights like this and stuff, because the fans as well, big crowds. When I first went to big crowds, that would overwhelm me, and all the lights, I couldn't control that because I was always just used to lifting in front of 30, 40 people.
Yeah.
So I started like changing my gym into kind of like just
try to recreate that environment a little bit.
Like a spotlight on me.
Yeah.
So whenever I moved, the spotlight would move, and then like they'd have like fake fan noises, and then like the Mulligan brothers and people would interview me with all the lights around, so they know like this is what it's like when you're in an interview, because you're going to be, something's talking in front of 10,000 people, something's going to be in the backstage. So that's how I did it, because I wanted to be successful in strongman. That was a hurdle. I went and jumped over that hurdle by practicing it in my own gym, and then now I can't shut up. It's even with I mean, even if you look at like the YouTube stuff as well, at first the YouTube, I was only doing a few lines, not being very talkative, but then fast forward now, it's like me and Luke just talk for Britain and stuff. So it's autism's always with me, but I now know how to live with it. I now know how to jump over the hurdles. Although it might take me 4 or 5 tries, I don't give up on the first one. If the first one goes wrong, like for the interviews and stuff, I would go, right, what can I do to make this easier for myself? And then when the next interview comes up, I won't be like anxious. I won't be like, what it's like in my head. So yeah, Strongman 1000% has like helped me mature. Has just blown me out of a kind of hole I was in. Like that's what my brothers would say to me. It's like you were kind of bad and you're going to go down the wrong way. But luckily, the gym for some reason stuck with me, and I'd say now autism is my superpower. Like I use it as a superpower now. So then everybody with autism, kids and stuff, if you say, oh, you got a superpower that this guy doesn't have, they're like, oh wow, yeah, I do. So
I really embrace it. And
so it's quite cool, because it means something. Because anyone with a disability always, is kind of never gets much hope in life. So I try and change it to the positives, and yeah, now I just live with it and use it to my advantage. The thing with strongman as well is you're in a routine every single day. Nothing changes. And that's again, autism comes with routine. So I'm eating, sleeping, lifting every single day and I know exactly what I'm doing, and winning worlds, a few podcasts here and there, but I know exactly what days they're on, what dates, and it's so easy now just to control it and like wake up every day now and boom, do my thing. So it's, obviously I have hard days, but I just can, my wife knows all about it as well now, so I can have that support base. Like I said, I've always had that 3 or 4 people that have been with me since day one. And now, because now I'm like the world's strongest man, which is cool to see. I just want to get it out there, because I want people to know the journey I've been on, so then they can go, right, I was like Tom when I was his age, and I can still be successful if I want to be, And you just have to go out and put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, even though you might hate every single minute of it. And if you can think of something to do that will make you that better person, just do it, because it's helped me big time. The gym saved my life 100%.
Yeah, that's class, and I'm sure you get messages all the time from kids and adults alike that are going through similar stuff, and they sort of show them that just because they have that thing,
definitely
doesn't mean that they can't succeed in life and succeed in a career and stuff. So I'm sure you've inspired loads of folk. What does you're talking about training there? You're talking about your routine. If you're I don't know, for example, say 2 months out of a big event, whether it's like Britain's Strongman or World's Strongest Man, what's a day for you? Wake up. What's your sort of training schedule?
We'll do it more etc. We'll do 2 weeks out, right? Because 2 months is boring compared to.
Well, 2 weeks then.
So basically, let's just say the week before World's Strongest Man this year, the week before I won it. So. So my maintenance level of calories, so the calories I need to not lose weight is 8,000.
8,000,
yeah,
okay. So that's Four times a normal person?
Yeah, so that's like the 2 months or 3 months before a comp. That's what I'd, eat every day to keep myself normal.
Yeah, let's go through what you eat. Like, we'll go through what you eat every day first. So you're going 8,000 calories.
Let's say 8 to 9,000 calories is what I eat just to maintain what the size I am. So, we'll wake up and have 10 eggs.
10 eggs. With yolks as well?
Yeah, 10 full eggs. And then we have 2 bits of bacon, 2 sausages, and then 4 bits of sourdough bread. Sourdough bread is massive, so it's so hard to eat. So.
Some people were listening to this probably being like, "Oh, I'm so jealous! Like he gets to eat like anything he wants."
I tell everyone to try it. Yeah, try it for 3 days in a row, and you'll be never eating eggs again. Then my second meal is easy. My second meal is just a protein shake with 30 strawberries. So yeah, not
30 strawberries.
Yeah, 30.
Sounds expensive.
Yes, and then lunch is. So I do it in grams. So lunch for me is 400 grams of any meat I want, like, so steak, chicken. I get that variety in case I want to change it up. So usually I go for steak burgers because they're easy to eat. So I do 400 grams of steak burgers and then 2 bags of Uncle Ben's rice and then like 100 grams of veg. So that's quite a big meal. And then my nutritionist calls it a snack. So then I get a snack before the gym, which is a burger and chips. I don't know where that snack comes from, but yeah, this just goes as a snack. And then I replete lunch at dinner. So lunch and dinner is the same, 400 grams of meat. Again, if I feel like steak, I'll have that. Chicken, potatoes. If I don't have rice, it'll be like 2 big potatoes and then the veg. And then nighttime is a protein shake again with some more fruit. So like 30 strawberries, a pineapple, grapes, that kind of stuff. So that maintenance kind of diet is more healthy. I mean, the burger and chips only comes in before the gym for fuel, and the rest is 90% clean, but that's it. Easy kind of 8,000 is easy food for me. But then when we're going competition standard stuff, this is when it gets fun.
There's even more.
Yeah, there's 12,000.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so it's a big jump. We don't even kind of prep up to it. It's just from 8,000 all the way till maybe a week and a half before the comp. Then I'll boom, right up. And being in America, as all places, are the best place to go for food. I mean, out there, I kind of started off with, it would be like 6 eggs plus 6 pancakes with everything on them. And then 2 yogurts with Nutella, 2 yogurts, and then like 50 grams of porridge. So I was like, geez, that's, even just that first fight. And then I wouldn't really have meal choices. It would just be when I get meshed. So usually I'd have 5 Guys, the best burger place in the world that I love them.
How many of those you put away?
So, no word of a lie, I have 3 5 Guys and chips a day. And then that was like throughout the day, whenever I kind of felt hungry, that was my fuel for World's Strongest Man, was the 5 Guys. And then usually at like dinner time, it was like 4 meatballs, spaghetti with bolognese and like big bits of bread and stuff. And that was the hardest meal because that was really starchy, really and then I thought I'd be finished by then, and then I get a text at like 10 p.m. going like, have another 5 Guys or have a pudding and stuff, So yeah, out there, I mean, the thing is, it's all pretty junk food out there, but it's more fuel.
You're just thinking of calories. Yeah, you're not looking for nutrition as such.
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
the
like
thing.
fuel.
Like, you think you'd enjoy it, like, 5 Guys every day, bolognese pasta every day, cheesecakes every day, but I was sick of it by the 4th day, and I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I mean, that's how extreme, I never ever, I think people with a strongman sport and these kind of sports think, you need to take 12,000 calories every day, all day, like every day for the rest of your life. But that's not right because it's not healthy. Obviously, putting that much junk food in your body for anybody, it doesn't matter who you are, what you do is not healthy. So that's why we only do like that small wee stints at that. So like the week before the competitions, our body will get filled with that. But then as soon as the comp's over, we go back to 8,000 and the healthy stuff. And then
just 8,000.
Yeah, just 8,000. And then even for like the Giants Live 1 day events, that'll be 10 because it's not you don't need as much fuel.
Yep.
But yeah, again, even them, it's not enjoyable just sitting there stuffing your face with like burgers, cheesecakes for like a whole kind of 12 hours. You just, something, you feel lethargic and you feel like, I can't be bothered lifting. That's what you're kind of like. You're like, how the heck can I actually lift after this. So yeah, it is
People
extreme.
struggling to believe that, like when they hear like they're struggling to eat cheesecake.
Yeah,
like, everyone else got
you
the
come live in my shoes for a day. You know?
You should try and do that. We'll come and do a video where we try and eat like strong men.
That'd be funny.
We end up keeling over. So that's the diet. What's your typical training day in terms of like your lifting, your gym work and stuff?
Yeah, so lifting for me is Monday. I'll go through the days and I'll go through lifting. On Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, I do gym stuff. So on a Monday, I'll do like at my back, so the deadlifts, the basic deadlifts, and then all the kind of back accessories that helps get your deadlifts stronger. Then on Tuesday, it'll be an upper body day, which is pressing. So depending if I've got a competition, whatever the press is in the comp, I'll do that in the gym. And then Wednesday's a active recovery day. So Wednesday's the day where I do kind of the conditioning. So I do CrossFit stuff on Wednesdays. And then I do like massage, physios, recovery stuff. Then go for a big walk just to keep everything flowing through my body. Then Thursdays is leg day, squats, whatever, etc., etc. Then Friday that's the fun day. That's when the toys come out. That's the event day. So that's the strongman day. So yeah, so like I average about 1.5 hours in the gym. I'm not in it long. I just get in and get out. But the event day is 4 or 5 hours long. That can be brutal, you know, because that could go from 10 a.m. in the morning till 4 or 5 p.m. at night, you know, so that's a good few hours of lifting weights and moving them back and forward. But yeah, the event day for me is the funnest day. I hate being in the gym. I hate every minute of being in the gym. I just love doing the kind of the stuff that looks cool. Like Atlas stones and lifting big massive things on your back. That's the cool stuff that you run with. Whereas the stuff in the gym, you're like, this is boring, but it has to be done.
People probably think people probably imagine that's what you're doing every day.
Yeah,
it's like the fun shit.
Yeah, I mean, people think you're going into the gym. Oh, he's lifting logs every day, but now we do the boring stuff at the start of the week, the good stuff, and then also for our recovery as well. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people know this, but we do hot and cold treatments. We do a lot of open water, cold stuff. So like every single day, without fail, we do like 20 minutes, 30 minutes in the sea.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so we do Loch Ness a lot. Doors is, if anybody's up here, bloody freezing. That is the coldest thing. And Loch Morlick and Aviemore, those two are the coldest thing. There's a YouTube video of me ice swimming underwater in Loch Morlick.
Yeah.
That was scary. So yeah, we do that every single day religiously. People think, why do you do it? But yeah, it's good for your mental state, but it's unbelievable for pain relief, recovery. You sleep like a baby on it. So yeah, we do a lot of that, and then we've got the hot tub. So if we do it at the gym, we've got a cold and hot. But if we just do it in the sea, it'll be like 30 minutes in the sea, then go have a nice hot shower. But that's an unbelievable thing. That's one thing that's like helped me win World's Strongest Man, is just doing hot and cold. Simple hot and cold. You can do it anywhere you want. I can't do it in the shower, but going straight into the water is unbelievable. So that's fun. So that's the recovery, is that physio and just sleep. That's my basic recovery. A lot of people do all this kind of like a lot of just scientist stuff and stuff, but I just keep it as simple as I can. It's worked for me since day one. So
it's interesting. The sort of ice, sort of cold water stuff's like super interesting. It's something I would love to like obviously like Wim Hof talks about, the cold showers in the morning. I really need to read his book, but I've kind of flirted with the idea. But like you said, like you saying you struggle to do it in the shower. Yeah, I mean Wim Hof, that's where we get it from. I mean Wim Hof did a documentary with us, so he was, but him talking about cold water is like you talking about riding or me talking about the strongman. He is obsessed when he talks about that. His eyes light, is just, he shouts that. I'm like, how the heck can you, like, I wouldn't, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't do cold water if I wasn't a strongman, because there's better things to do. But if you want to be the kind of best at sport, if you want to improve your mental kind of state and stuff, I would do it, because it is unbelievable. I mean, we do 20-30 minutes, but average is 5 minutes, and like I said, the shower, because it hits you and doesn't cover you, and you can go out and in, you have that choice. Whereas the beach, the sea, you don't have. Yeah, so, and I mean, we started it at lockdown for a few people that were struggling mentally, and 5 or 6. Now there's about 60 to 70 people that come at night times with us. Oh, really?
Just the whole beach is just covered with people jumping in the water, having fun, hitting the waves. It's unbelievable, like, so. And
that's all year round as well?
Yeah, all year round, yeah. Well, people started in the summer. I think me and Luke, that Loch Morlick thing was, when we did that, that was I think below minus, and it was in the like balls of winter, and that was the coldest I've ever felt in my life. That was scary, you know, especially going under the water in the ice. We had to cut it with a axe and chainsaw and stuff to get it through, you know. But yeah, it's a buzz you get off it, you know. Once you do that kind of stuff, we've done it with kind of like drug addicts and stuff as well. We've really helped them, and they say it's like a high, you know. It's like you go out of the water.
It's kind of like shocking your body into like
your eyes
that sort of fight or flight, fucking like real buzz.
Your eyes open up and they're like, they want more of it, you know. It's like that's what cold water does to you. It's mental, you know. So
it's like their methadone, like
people just don't expect it, because when you think of cold water, they say it's freezing. I'm not going in that, you know. Like but when you actually try it and you feel that kind of buzz and the shocks going up your body, you're like, wow. The first time I did it, I got addicted. I was like, geez, this is for me. So
because once you're in, it's like, well, maybe not with the ice stuff, but like once you're in, it's not too
when you're
bad.
in the sea, I mean, once you get your shoulders under it, you're kind of immune to it straight away. And that's different in the shower, because you can't get like you have to go in and out. So but I love that. But I recommend everyone to try that, because it's really, really good for you. So
something I'd love to try out. Come with us. We'll come one day. Like we'll get the boys
the doors. That'll be.
We'll get you on the bikes, and we'll go for a nice,
that'd be cool.
a nice duke. Don't know what would be scarier. Like, one of the things I was wanting to talk about, because it's like strongman is like a sport. When I was looking into it, sits in kind of like a weird place in that like everyone knows about it and everyone's watched it over the years, but it's not like football where it's like on every week and you can't like watch you guys live. How does like the broadcast work with it, for example? Because I know it's like it saw that it was it's broadcast live in America, but I was trying to watch like the live stream, but you can't get it until like later on in the year. Like how does that setup work?
I think I think it's because it's gone so far back that it's always been a show at Christmas time. So it's all just pre-recorded. Everything, even the American one, that wasn't live. That was obviously pre-recorded and it's on right now. But like America one's more kind of like a sports show, whereas British one is more like a story.
Right.
So and I think and if you look at like the American ones, it's I think 30 minutes. The British is 45 to an hour. But I think the British one keep it that late is because they edit it and obviously like want to make it a real kind of story of like, so it's more like than sport, you know, like I mean, so it's more than just big guys lifting weights. It's like, right, this is the Stoltman brothers go into history, but this is Novikov, this is Brian Shaw, and they really take the story out of them.
Yeah, okay,
and
cool.
That's why it's been so kind of successful, the Channel 5 thing. I mean, people moan that it takes so long to come out. I mean, there should be a live stream, but the live streams in that,
it'd be so long.
They wouldn't work, and it wouldn't work because they'd have to rush everything, you know. So you know, if something goes wrong, you know, if a machine breaks or something, because sometimes like the trains or if you're doing a truck pull, the brake sees and you can't use it, so you're like, well, this is live and I can't do an event now. So I mean, it's always been at Christmas time, and like I enjoy sitting around the TV with my dad and stuff, that not been on and watching it, and you know, a lot of people love it, but yeah, it's always going to be like that. And I think people think, oh, it's going to go live in a few years, but I think it's always going to be the Christmas thing. That's the thing to look forward to at Christmas time. But yeah, they just edit it more into a story. That's why, like, if it was a sports show, they probably could get it out now. But because they do it more like story wise, it takes a longer to.
I guess you won't really sort of experience the full extent of it until this year because you've won this year. But does it not make it quite weird for you guys where you basically win it and then you get this like initial like sort of news coverage and all that like you'll have experienced over the last few weeks, but then do you get like a kind of second wind when it actually gets televised and people actually finally watch it in full?
Yeah, so you get busy when you come back and then it dies down, and then you kind of, like you said, you forget about it a wee bit, and then you're basically reliving that moment again on the TV, and then once you like see yourself lifting it again, you're like, oh, here we go again. You know, it feels like you're there again, and I loved it. I love watching it on TV, especially this year because I won. I'm going to relive the moment again. I'm going to have some beers in my hand and celebrate and stuff. But it's going to feel real now as well because I'll be watching it with my dad. and my wife, Sinead, usually they're there with me. And I think it might even feel more real.
Yeah.
Because we're all around now as like a family. So, you know, I'm going to relive it, but I think for me, it's going to feel more real on the TV. Because I'm around people that usually are with me at a sport, you know. Because, I mean, I had my dad and Sinead on FaceTime, and Dad was pissed drunk. Sinead was crying, and it's like, it's not the same, you know, when we're on the phone. But yeah.
Because they've not been able to watch it. There.
So like I said, they know as much as the average Joe, like watching it on a spreadsheet on their Facebook. They know as much information as that, so they've actually not got any extra like videos or any extra footage. So they're going to be on the same boat as everybody else, whereas me and Luke can.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it's going to be exciting for them as well, and that's why I think this year's going to be a bit more exciting than usual, because nobody else knows about it, and it's like, look how I did here, and look how I did here and there. So we're going to be able to relive it, but yeah, Christmas time's going to be bonkers again.
Can I imagine, like, with it being, it's on Channel 5, isn't it?
Yeah, Channel 5.
So it being on Channel 5, you'll get like all your people who are like diehard fans of strongman, but you'll also just get random people flicking through channels at Christmas time, Channel 5, and they'll watch it, and they won't even know that you're going to win until you win it, and they'll be like watching it live for them.
Even
for
now,
most people.
Even now, there's like not the strongman fans are like, "Oh, Tom, well done, you won World Strongman." I was like, "Geez, you didn't. How do you know that?" And it's nice, like the older people, the older generation, because they don't have social media, and like you said, when they watch it, they're like, "Oh, this is a boy from Invergordon. He's doing this live now," and it's cool because they think, and then they text you going, "Oh, you're in America right now. You're doing well." So you just so it's nice. I mean, it's going to be it's all going to kind of kick off again in Christmas, but I can't wait to kind of live it again and celebrate, you know.
Just enjoy it. Do you get like quite a bit of time off at Christmas then from training and stuff, or is it pretty much full on all year round?
Usually we don't.
Like a month.
Usually we don't. I mean, I think our last comp this year is October, and if the world goes back to normal, we'll be competing in January for Britain's Strongest Man. So Britain's this year's in September. Okay. Usually it's in January.
Okay, I see.
Europe's is usually in April. So yeah, but if it's back to normal, I think they'll be putting Britain's back to normal next year. But I always take time off over Christmas. Like, I mean, I'm an athlete, yes, full time, but I'm not sad enough to lift on Christmas Day.
I'm sure some people are, but that's cool. But I'll be mad just watching it. I was trying to find it. Or I was even trying to find like a dodgy stream or something like a few days ago, but I couldn't find it. So I'll look forward to watching it with the family. Talking about like the sort of commercial side of it. When you look back like over your career, was there like a specific time where you say like, I don't know, got some good prize money or signed a contract where I know you mentioned about leaving your job, where you were like, oh, this, I can now see this being a thing, not just for in terms of success, but actually for making a living out of it?
When I left my job, no. I just was a guy who was like...
See, it wasn't a case of like you got a contract and you could leave.
I left my job because I was like, a younger guy, couldn't be bothered working. I was just like, stuff this, I've got better things to do than work 12 hours a day. It was more, I think it was a year after. I left my job in November. I came third at Britain's Strongest Man in the January. And then I think it was maybe halfway through that year I signed with two kind of big kind of companies. And then I was like, I couldn't live, but I could pay the bills. That was the main thing, was paying the bills. And then so I was kind of happy with that. And then it was more like, it was basically in 2018, 2019 when me and Luke first get World's Strongest Man in the finals. Since we created that bit of history, that's when the bigger companies came into us, because they wanted like that storyline, that the big first brothers to ever do this, like blah blah blah. And then since then, it's been kind of on an upward rise. I've got some companies that I used to use when I was younger that I now work with, and I'm like, this is kind of mind-boggling. Like, I never ever thought I would be able to team up with these people. Connect with guys like that, connect with companies. So it's, it's good. It's like I said, it's all happened quite fast. I left my job and with nothing, but then worked hard to make some money, to live, and then just keep going and going and going. Because people think, like you said, strongman, money throws at you. There's no money in strongman. It's only been recently there's been money. But when I left my job, winning Britain's Strongest Man, £4,000 or £5,000, that's nothing, for being the strongest man, and you're
in the country.
Yeah, and you're like, what the, you know what? And even back, like when I first done Rosin, it was like 20, 30,000. It's not a lot, whereas bodybuilders, you know, they're getting $500,000 going in trunks. So, you know, you really had to kind of, that's where you have to have a big social media presence as well, and really kind of, you know, put yourself out there on social media so then people know what you're doing. That's why you have to kind of, you know, if you don't have social media and you're a strongman, you're never going to get far. Yeah, and that's why I started like the social media, because I think my first sponsor told me, "Oh, you need to post some stuff on social media for us," and I was like, "What do I do here?" So then I started doing that. Then that's when your profile grows. Like, "Oh, he's wearing this stuff. That looks quite cool," and then boom, you just grow together. And you know, now all my social media stuff's, you know, kicked off big time, and now I'm here. I can actually do it, you know, professionally, run a business, own a gym, and you know, everything's kind of going on up now. So, because I always said to myself, you know, strongman isn't around forever. So if I injure myself, my career's over. So I need something that's plan B, and what's the gym, and that's the business. Because that's why, like Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw, the Blueprint, because they just didn't do strongman. They wanted to grow out of strongman, and that's what you need to do. And especially being from like the Highlands, you know, strongman. Like I said, I could go to the gym and tear both my biceps off and never be able to be the same again. At least then I have a gym and the other businesses to help me, you know, help me fund stuff.
And you still have a following on social media that hopefully like follow you for your personality, beyond sport.
Yeah.
What's the sort of like, I think of it in terms, I don't know, every time you like talk about like strongman, I'm always in my side of my head like thinking of what the parallels are with like what we do in bikes. What are like the sort of typical sponsors or sponsor like categories that like would be go-tos for like strongmen? Like, is it protein, like a lot of the new sports nutrition stuff, or is it something else?
To be honest, there's some mental companies that like strongman now, you could probably message maybe 90% of companies and they'll say yes to you.
Yeah.
For example, Rain energy drink. Have you heard it? I don't know if you've heard of Rain.
I've seen the stuff in your guys.
So Rain is a massive company. They're growing like rapidly. Them and obviously supplement companies. You know, like a lot of every single protein company is obviously to do with gym.
Yeah. Your DMs just filling up.
Yeah, I mean, like My Protein. You know, that's. Yeah. I work with My Protein, who are like the biggest protein supplement company in the world right now, and I'm grateful to have them because I used their supplements and I never ever thought like they have Seaman Panda, they have Israel Autism or whatever he's called, you know, the fighter. UFC guy. Yeah, and they have all, and I'm just like, gee, I'm just a strongman and these guys are what it doesn't compete with me, you know. And so yeah, there's, and then like you get like the Boohoo Mans, father and sons, you know, the clothes you don't ever think about. I mean, how they sponsor strongman, father and sons is beyond me because it's small make, but yeah. And then you get like, even like water companies, like, you know, like you get like Highland Fuel, like fuel companies, like petrol companies and stuff. It's all weird. There's a lot of kind of weird, I got Beard Struggle, beard companies. There's a lot of kind of companies that, it's not more for strongman, it's more for your social media and like your YouTube. If you tell someone that, right, like I could be the 10th best in the world and go message some big, massive kind of energy drink company or some protein company or some like car company and say, look, right, I'm this much followers on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, 10th in the world. They're like, oh yeah, we'll take you on, you know. Whereas if I was number one in the world and only had 1,000, they wouldn't do it, you know. And it's weird because you do have to have that big following before someone takes you serious with a blue tick like you've got and I've got, you know. So and that's
funny. It's like it is an interesting world. It's kind of cool in some ways, but it's kind of like superficial.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool, but then there is sometimes when you message people, they're like, all this hard work to come, like, to be the best, and you care about
the social media,
you know,
that you've like literally won this contest. Like.
So it is. Some of them are like that, and some companies do kind of take the piss a bit and go like, you know, well, we'll give you like a discount code if you put our stuff on your site, and it's like, well, I kind of need more than a disc, because that they get more out of it than we do. So you know, there is the kind of companies that are in it more for them. There is companies that, you know, they do like some 50-50 deals or one-off, post this on our social media and you'll get this amount of money. And then with the YouTube, we do that ourselves, so we don't have any kind of sponsors on that our YouTube, because we just wanted that to be us, myself and Luke, and we didn't want...
And you can sell your own merchandise and stuff.
Because if we have like one company working for us, then we'll get a message going, why are they on your YouTube and we're not, and stuff like that. So we just kind of keep YouTube separate from the social media stuff. But yeah, it is mad how much kind of companies you can actually get for being a strongman, you know. I learned that from Eddie Hall and Brian Shaw. I mean, yeah, like, you know, I've had some weird sponsorship requests and I've had some big ones, some small ones, yeah, but you can get anything. I could even get like a bike, you know, mountain bike companies that I know people like Eddie Hall and stuff that's had them, you know, and I've had people that, you know, I don't know why I would need a bike, but you know, it's still, so, you know, that's the thing, it's the things that aren't to do with strongman, but it's just because of your kind of,
just because you're following,
and also, like, if they have someone on your, you know, if you sponsored by some sofa and they go, oh, the world's strongest sofa, you know, because they'll call it that because you're the world, because you're, you know, and it's like, you know, it doesn't make sense of it, but it is. I mean, I'm just grateful that I've got like the companies I work with that work for me, and they're genuine for me, you know, not just to take kind of the piss out of me and be like, oh, you're the best in the world, let's take advantage of Tom now, you know. So yeah, but like I said, I've grown quickly because of the social media, because I'm one of the younger ones in the strongman. I think I've used social media to the advantage, and I know about social media and I know how to do it, and I've had a lot of help getting like obviously the blue badges and stuff and all the accounts, and knowing how to kind of come across on social media, because you say one wrong thing and or you say like one wrong thing to someone and boom, that's you done, you know. And that's why you have to really watch the social. There's good parts to it and there's very bad parts to social media.
So you talk about like your age. Are you 26?
27.
27. Yeah. So like 27's pretty young as a strongman, right? Yeah. There's like guys in there, like your brother's 36, 37, and there's
55. There's the oldest guy I've competed against.
Really?
But yeah.
Sorry, I guess you don't want to be doing it when you're 55.
He started at 37, but
okay.
Usually,
that's inspiring though.
Yeah, he was in my group at Worlds. He's from Britain as well, and oh geez, 55. That's like my dad. Yeah. You could be your dad, but anyway, usually in strongman, your peak kind of strength is mid-30, early 30s, mid-30s. So from like 32, 33 to Luke's age now to 37, that's Luke's getting stronger now. So you have about a 4-year window where if you're wanting to kind of win big titles and be the best, that's the time to do it. And then usually after that is when you kind of take the downward turn, and then usually before that is kind of you're thereabout as well. So there's that 4-year period, and that's like you said, where you want to do the most kind of damage and, you know, grow the most in strongman. But luckily for me, it's started early. Yeah. Because I kind of want 2 years left in you then. I don't want to do this for the rest of my life, because this is a sport you can't do for the rest of your life. I want to kind of maybe do it, you know, maybe win it a few more times and then just call it. If I could retire at 31, 32 years old, that would be bonkers, you know, like retiring at that and
retiring from the sport, but you obviously can
retire from the sport, but obviously still be part of strongman, but not do competitions, you know. Because I mean, I know, like, I wake up every day feeling like I'm a 50-year-old, you know. I probably need a walking stick when I'm 30, and you don't want to be like that, you know. You don't want to feel like that. You want to feel like you can walk normally, you know, do stuff normally, and I don't want to be this big, you know. It's been this big as well as quite, you know, I mean, walking around at 180 kilograms for like the next 30 years is going to be pretty unhealthy, you know. So
that's one thing I was kind of interested, like, so say you get to a certain age and you retire, do you just like try and do you just try and like gradually like get the weight down?
I mean,
what
I'd go into more bodybuilding and fitness kind of stuff. So like, if I'd say I retired when I was 35, 36, I was still big, I would obviously not really touch any of the strongman stuff and just do it for fitness and like a better way of life as well, you know, keep my head steady. But I would just maybe set myself like a goal of like a bodybuilding goal or something, and maybe, you know, just go on stage or something and do something like that just helps me get the fat, that gets the weight off me. But yeah, it would be more fitness and just for fun I do it, not none of that weights that I've been lifting. But yeah, it's something to worry about, you know, because, you know, you don't want to, there has been people in the past, strongmen in the past, that have kind of been like 180, 190 their whole life, and by the time they come to like 40, they're like buggered, and you're like, geez, I don't want to be like that. The lucky for me is I've got the height, so like Like I'm 180k, but I don't look it.
Yeah.
Whereas when Eddie Hall was 180 or 190k, he looked like he looked like he was about to explode.
Yeah.
So I've got the height that I can actually put a bit more on my frame and still be healthy.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm quite lucky with that. So.
How tall are you?
6'8". Yeah.
6'8".
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's tough. Whereas like Luke's 6'3", so like, I mean, Luke, if he goes past like 170k, he gets really unfit and can't move because his height and stuff. Whereas I can walk around at 180 quite comfy, you know. So that's the difference with kind of the body mass stuff and that, you know. It's cool for.
That's class. It's interesting. Yeah, the whole sort of nutrition and like stuff is super interesting. Like, do you go pretty? You mentioned you had like a nutritionist. Do you go like pretty scientific with it, or is it a case of just like eat as much as you can?
This guy's like who's the Karate Kid guy, the genius?
Mr. Miyagi.
Yeah, he's like the Mr. Mawani, whatever he's
Miyagi.
called. Jeez, I can't say that.
Strongman.
Strongman, yeah. This guy is an absolute wizard. I've never seen a nutritionist that has done what he has done to me. Like,
yeah. Does he work with a lot of the other guys as well?
Yeah, he's basically got 6 World's Strongest Man titles. He's got 4 with Brian, 1 with Martins, and 1 with me. So obviously the most successful coach in the world. But like, because he says to me, the first time he said to me when I first went with him, I was like, how many calories do I need to eat a day? He's like, your body doesn't do maths.
Yeah.
And you think like, that's true. So like, you know, if you're putting 50, if you have a chocolate bar, it's got 100 calories and you eat it, your body's not going to be able to like, oh, you've got 100 calories in you. So it's weird how that works. So he does more insulin levels and the sensitivity of your body and stuff, and it's mad. Like, I didn't know they could do stuff like that, but geez, he knows it. So he knows exactly what food makes me strong and what foods make me weaker, and he knows how high my insulin levels should be at a certain time. It's too confusing for me. I just eat the food. So
does he just do that remotely? Like,
yeah, he's in America. He lives
just on his computer, like sending you like eat this, eat that.
WhatsApp, he just does it for a week, and obviously sometimes like usually daily he updates me with what to eat and stuff, and yeah, that's what World's Strongest Man. He was the kind of magician to help me eat, because like that's bonkers. I just listen to him. It goes in one ear out the other, but it's like, just give me the food. Don't tell me any other words that are too big. I just want to eat the food, because I never ever had like a nutritionist like that, you know. And it's when you sit down and think about it, it's mental what he says actually works. I mean, it's bonkers, man. I mean, like Luke's gone with him now. A few other strongmen have gone with him now. So yeah, he works. He's, oh my God, I just speechless with him. You know, it's mental.
Yeah, that's
just
cool.
An older man that, you know, when you look at him, you're like, how the hell does he know about nutrition?
Yeah, I guess that's what he's just probably on his computer all day, just like studying shit.
Yeah, he's got like honours in it and stuff. So, you know, he is really. I mean, he's made people. Like, he worked with someone that was diabetic, and now he's not diabetic because of him.
Okay.
And you're like, that is just
bonkers.
Cool.
The whole nutrition stuff's super.
Yeah, that's why I try to do it myself. I was like, nah, stop this.
Did you notice like a massive step up though as soon as you started doing that? Like,
yeah, so I've had like nutritionists in the past, but as soon as I started with him, I mean, I broke 2 world records with him on the Atlas Stones, and then finished obviously first at World's Strongest Man. You know, that's World's Strongest Man was our first proper kind of comp together, and I mean, I won it, so it's like,
where'd you go from now?
Yeah, so it's pretty mental. He is mental, like, so.
You're talking about like world records. Is that like a sort of side thing that you guys do as well?
Yeah, so
like actual Guinness World Record.
Not Guinness World Records, but more like
Strongman World.
So you can do like Giants Live sometimes have an event plus the world record on top. So for example, they might have Giants Live Manchester, but it'll have the log press world records at the start, and then you do the event after. So the Atlas Stone one is more of a side thing. So usually it's in America. Rogue Fitness, I don't know if you heard of them. They usually set the stone records up. Brian Shaw had it for so long, and then they were wanting someone to beat it, so that's why they kind of did it. So yeah, I flew over, did that, and then I did it in my gym as well. We did it through a live stream when COVID was done.
Was that during lockdown?
Yeah, for Woos. Yeah. Something called World Ultimate Strongman. So we had like the official ref on the screen, everything kind of set up officially, and we just did it in our home gym. So that was quite cool, because you know, a lot of people say, you know, home records, they don't count, but if it's all official. So so records, I mean, world records are good, but titles are so much more, you know. Like
That's what you're in it for.
Yeah, I could walk around saying I've done a 286 kilogram stone world record. You could say you're a world champion. You know, who's going to get snapped up? You know, at the end of the day, their world records are nice, but it doesn't make you your profile big. Because everyone asks me, "Oh, when's your next world record?" It's like, I want these, you know, not world records. And like that video you said when I was shitting myself. I mean, that was training for a world record. And
you should probably give some context to people listening. Well, actually, so basically, like the video is you're like, what do you call that? That's it was the stone.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
This video. It was because I was training for the world record, and I was going for the 286 kg world record, and in training on the second rep of the lift, everything went loose and my bowels decided to pop, and I ran to the toilet, had tacky on, tried a wipe, came out with the toilet roll stuck to me. So
tacky's like the
sticky
like
stuff,
chalk, but like sticky.
Yeah, so it's like wax or something, or
so like the ball sticks to it.
Yeah,
and then you try to wipe your ass with it,
and it came out with black on me. So yeah, so it was a very, very bad decision, and that's. But then you
have you never done that in a competition though?
No, never. I've never done that since either. So yeah,
that's good.
But you think as well, you think for sometimes you like go to yourself, you know, you train that hard for one world record. Why? Well, you could train. I could have trained that hard for, you know, a competition. So because when I did that stone, it was obsessed. Like I was going like I was training obsessively, recovering obsessively. Like I was in my mind that I wanted that world record. Then I did it and I was like, oh, this is going to change my life. Nothing happened. You know, I was just like...
How heavy was that, did you say?
286 kilograms.
286, so that's like... I don't know how many, that's like seven people almost?
Yeah, it's a hard... for
no, like five.
The thing with people...
That's insane.
The thing with Atlas stones is people think, all right, I can deadlift 100k.
Yeah.
I can lift an Atlas stone. You know, a lot of people have come into my gym,
it was like
deadlift 100k on a bar is easy. Then they're like, what... How the hell can you, like, they think, geez, you know, so it's because it's circular and stuff. But yeah, that's what I'm saying about the world record, you know. Usually I was like, shit, yes, we're going to get a bit of kind of like media now, we're going to get a lot of sponsors, but not, like, it's because it's a Atlas stone, I didn't really care much for it, you know, and it's just, and that's when I kind of got put off, like, you know, what's the point putting your body through all this just for one world record where I could, you know, not win anything for a year and then win the biggest trophy you can win. So it's like, that's what changed kind of my mind with the world record thing, because I was the other way around. I was always for world records. I used to think, oh, if I can get the heaviest stone ever lifted, it's going to blow my profile up and stuff, and I didn't really care about comps, but now I'm the other way around, considering what's kind of come from it.
Do you get like paid to do world records? Or like, or is it like by the event or something?
Yeah, you get paid for. Obviously, again, it's the same with events. You get sponsors that come on board and pay you as well. But again, for that world record stone, I got pocket money compared to what I'd get if I was to win a title. So it's kind of like, why did I do it? Really, you know. So, but yeah, you do get the kind of rogue fitness reign. Some of them do come on board and chuck some money in. You know. So yeah, it's good. Everything you do, if it's to do with like a world record or competition, you always get some sort of money.
Yeah.
You know? So it's good now. Like you used to not really get anything, but they now understand. So.
You got to give it, especially when, well, if there's like such a big profile to it, as well as the fact that you guys are like literally putting your bodies on the line. In terms of injury as well as like the sort of long-term stuff. It's like, you have to give it.
A lot of people want on like involved in a world, like, so say for example, I had to do a world record next week. You would have probably 100 times more people wanting on it than you did when I did the world record a year ago, because of my name as well. But just because, even if they didn't think I was going to do it, it would just, on the TV, it would have their banner on it and stuff, and like, oh, it's beside the world's strongest man. So that's kind of what it's like. But then they pay like 50 quid to do it, and then obviously you have to split that with like the TV people and stuff. So you end up not hardly, you walk away with sometimes, even if you're lucky, $2,000, you know, and you're like, I could have done something so easy to do for $2,000, you know.
Shit myself for this.
Yeah, so but at the end of the day, you know, it's growing strawman, and you know, but
it all feeds into like a sort of one thing.
Yeah,
like,
but titles for me are the biggest kind of thing. That's what gets with any sport you do, you know. Yeah, titles should be the thing that you want, you know, the most out of anything. So, and
I think there's like prize money and stuff for. Like prize, prize for World Strongman and stuff.
To be honest, it was the best prize money ever in World Strongman this year. So I won it.
Are we going to get an amount or?
Prize money at the World Strongman is ratio is about $75,000.
Okay, cool.
So that is much improved since the last few years. You know,
That's cool. It's going
every other year before that's been about 30, 40, you know, and it's gone a big massive jump. And then you get bonuses as well, which, you know, you could take, if you maybe 100, if you live in America, it's good because you could take home about 100K plus, you know. But obviously being from the UK, tax comes into it. So I'm still probably 50,000 starting. Yeah. It's still, you know, I mean, for me, for a 27-year-old boy, it's a lot of money. For anyone, it's a lot of money.
For sure.
You know, like, even with tax, even if you take 20, 30K off it, you're still getting a decent bit of money. And
it's well deserved when you think of what you have to do for it.
And then obviously, like, then that comes with like the sponsors, because obviously with sponsors, they always, if you do kind of good in a comp, they'll renew your contract, so you get more and more money. So that's a good thing as well. So like,
it's not just that, like, so you sign 50 grand you're getting.
Yeah, so like, you sign a 12-month contract to a company, and they're maybe starting with saying giving you £300, £400 a month. Then if you say like, they'll say like, if you win World Strongest Man, we'll renegotiate, and then you win that, and then they'll give you like triple. So it's good, you know, good that companies that your sponsor would come back as well and kind of give you the money you deserve. So
it's interesting you say that about the tax. Like, I've heard, like, I hear similar stories with like mountain bikers. We don't really compete anymore, but there's still competitions going where you can go and like make 100 grand, but then you end up coming back with
that's
like
the reason you get excited. You're like, yes, can I get something? And oh crap, you know, it's like tax man's got it all.
IRS comes and takes that big novelty check off you. Like, that's class. So like you were saying before we start recording, like, I'm sure so many people will like watch what you and your brother are doing and all the other guys and think that you guys have got it like so good, but you don't see the fucking work that you guys put in. I'm sure it's...
That's the thing, you know, if like mountain biking, strongman, anything was good, every second person would be doing it in this world right now, you know, and hardly anybody does like this kind of stuff at a high level. I mean, like, hardly in Scotland, hardly anybody does it. UK as well, there's not many top level strongmen, you know. It's like, well, if it was that easy, why aren't you guys lifting weights, quitting your jobs and coming to eat some food with us, you know? So it's just, but everyone's like that because they think, because they see the fun stuff on the YouTube, the social media, the gym, it's like, oh, they're eating again. These guys are.
This guy got 70 grand for eating donuts.
They're lifting weights. It's like, oh, you're doing food challenges. How are you guys getting all this stuff? But that's the fun stuff. That's the people. What you want people to see. You know, you don't want to put on us sleeping for 8 hours or you know, being depressed. You don't want to see that on YouTube, you know.
But having said that, I think it's quite cool that some of the stuff that you guys do put out does show that other side of things, whether it's a bit of the depression side of things or whether it's just like the work.
No, I mean, we're always real, you know. With like the World Strongest Man journey, we said to like our video guy, you know, we want some of the stuff that we failed, that we don't feel good as well, because, you know, they need to see the real side, you know, not just always the fun, like the fun, stupid side. They need to see like you're not always going to be 100% every day, you know. Like some days you're going to be. I've said on YouTube, I can't be bothered training and just walked off. You know, there's videos of me where my coach has come up with my brother and me and said, "Oh, right, we're training today. I didn't feel good. I walked off. I went home," and that's on YouTube. It's like those are the things people want. It's like, oh, this is real, you know.
Yeah, so that's cool. I think YouTube's good. Like YouTube, obviously, it's still editing and stuff, but it just gives you opportunity to show like a little bit more than what you see on like Instagram.
I mean,
or
Instagram
and stuff.
is most of it's fake, you know, like sugar coated and stuff. But in YouTube, it's more the raw, like the raw content, you know. Like that's the stuff what you see is probably what you get, basically, you know. Yeah. So
it's cool to see. So with you're talking about like you want a few more titles in before you retire. Where do you think do you have any ideas of what you'll be doing like in sort of 10 years if you retire? Then you got any like master plan?
You know, it would be cool to get into some sort of like, you know, the movies or something to do with that kind of line. I'll always be involved in strongman. There's, you know, you can't take that out of me. But I'd love to do something to do with like the movies or just something along them lines, you know. Who knows what happens in 10 years. I would like to win a few more of them trophies and then kind of state with myself in like being a legend of strongman before I'm 40, and then after that I kind of just obviously have my gym, hopefully open a few more gyms. We're wanting to do a big massive recovery centre in the Highlands. So all this kind of, and help the top athletes kind of, you know, we want to kind of make our own charity as well and help the top athletes that don't get the support to pay for them to go out places, because obviously being from up here, it's like a foreign country to everyone, so it's triple the amount of if you were flying to, from England and stuff. So, we want to do that because there's a lot of good talent up here that never get enough praise. So many good people, and because we're from such a small community, nobody sees it, or they don't get the opportunity to be right. And that's what we want to do as well for YouTube. We want to like document somebody that is an up and coming person or a professional at sitting and be like, this is what they can do. We want to support them and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot of plans. I mean, I just want to grow the business of the Stoltman. I mean, the Stoltman name's now a cementing strongman. It's going to be a legacy. And if Luke can maybe have a year, 2 years left in strongman and get on the podium with me at Worlds, that'll be
double podium.
Yeah, that'll be.
You've had both in the top 10.
Yeah, both in the top 10.
And that's happened like twice or something?
Yeah, twice. Yeah. So cool. I mean, that's even and that itself's like Staple does in our legends, but getting on podium would just be that legacy complete, and then we can just kind of retire even together and then build the business. We've got so much stuff we want to do. We're going to be hosting the Stoltman Games, and so we're going to get like the best 10 athletes from strongman, from some other sports up, and just take over that. And then there's a lot of things we've got in plan, and because we're well known now, we can do this kind of stuff, and do it ourselves. So we don't really want help from the Highland Council and stuff, or the councils and stuff. We want to just do it all ourselves and give back to people. And yeah, in 10 years' time, if I don't hit movies and stuff, then I'll be living up here, just living the dream. But yeah, I could even, when you're 40 plus, you can do Masters Strongman. So,
oh, yeah?
Yeah, so I might even do that.
Oh, there you go.
But yeah,
you started till you're 50.
Yeah, so, but I always kind of say that I always want the business side to kind of take over the strongman, because like I said, strongman's never going to be there my whole life. So as long as I'm set up in my life for, I don't want to get to the retirement age and go, sorry, I don't want to retire and go, crap, what am I going to do now? Like I don't have all my money's going to get wasted. I can't, support my wife and stuff. So that's why I want this like business to grow and grow and grow, and just have it right. That's me done. I'm able to and that's why we did YouTube. The only reason we started YouTube was so we have something out of strongman, that we can, at 40 I could be a full-time YouTuber,
Yeah.
There's things like that you can do. There's a lot of
something else.
There's loads of things you can do in that. But yeah, I just want to keep growing the Stoltman name, I want to get it big in strongman, but also want to get it as kind of a well-known name, like the Arnold Schwarzeneggers, the Eddie Halls. Eddie Hall's a well-known name now, so I want to get him like that and just be like, right, who's this? Oh, this is Tom Stoltman. So it'd be cool.
It's pretty mad, like how many different avenues you can kind of
100%.
You can go down. Do you think you're obviously talking about like some charity community stuff? Do you think you would ever get involved with like Asperger's or autism charities moving forward, either as like an advocate or even like starting something yourself?
Yeah, I do a lot of work for autism. So Autism Scotland, I think it's the biggest one in Scotland. So I've took out a jumper with Strongman Federation, and all money went to them. A lot of people that some people that buy my shirts and stuff put all the money to autism. So I've raised a good few £1,000 for them. I don't want to be an ambassador for these kind of things, because I want to be able to do stuff myself as well. So like when you're an ambassador, you're usually stuck at that one thing, and I don't want like one autism charity to be like, you can't do any work for another one. I want to do as much work as I can for everyone.
Yeah,
because
shouldn't be exclusive.
Yeah, so Scottish autism is big, but there's also autism things up here, and this is close. Obviously, the Highlands, where I'm from, I help them more than I would like Glasgow and stuff, because obviously this. So I that's why I don't ever want to get like stuck in with being like an ambassador for these kind of charities and stuff. I just want to, be able to raise as much money as I can for these kind of charities, and just be like, look, this is what I've done. Or if an autism charity phones me saying, look, can you come down today to help raise money for this? I can say yes. I have that freedom, So yeah, I do a lot of work for all the autism stuff. I do a lot of work for, but yeah, mine and Luke's charity is more for the athletes. But then Luke does a lot of mental health stuff. So obviously, get a charity for the mental health and autism past the an athlete one as well, so we can do it all in one. So yeah, big plans, but hopefully everything goes well. But yeah, the autism thing, I'll keep helping them as much as I can. Charities, whatever,
Yeah,
so.
I'm sure like some of those guys must be absolutely buzzing when you show up to like some of these events. Like,
yeah, because I used to do, like when I was a kid, I used to go to like place games for like people with these disabilities, and then like I used to work at them as well, and then you see some of the older ones now and you're like, geez, you've changed a lot, you know, you've kind of excelled in your life. And then we kids with autism, they'll go, oh, you're Superman, you're like, they call you a superhero, which is cool to see. That's why I'm saying like autism is a superpower, you know, and like you're like, oh, that's Tom, he's got superpowers, you know, it's cool. So yeah, but it's cool just to have people like that to look up to, you know, because when I was younger, obviously my family, I look up to them, you know, but I didn't really have a role model to kind of follow in the footsteps when I was younger. Like, I didn't know what I wanted to do or who I liked and stuff. So to now have the younger generation of like the people with autism or even just younger kids to look up to me, it's like, I'm just a boy from Invergordon that lifts weights, you know. It's like, why the hell are you looking up to me? You should be looking up to like The Rock or I don't know, Schwarzenegger and stuff. But it's cool, you know, to have that kind of
resonates with them because of that.
Yeah, and I mean, like a lot of people don't want that fame that The Rock and that have, you know, and they just want to be, because I'm an easygoing guy, chilled out, I know, and just like have time for everyone, and that's what they like about it, you know. I don't just go right no to you, or you know, if a podcast and stuff, I always kind of do as many of these kind of things as I can, you know, and I think that's what people like about it as well. So
it's like definitely like one thing I would take away from watching like yours and your brother's stuff on YouTube and stuff is just like how chill you are, and just like,
going, like
yeah,
put some food in front of us.
The Highland way.
Put some food in front of us, and geez, you'll be your best friends for life.
One other thing I meant to actually ask you earlier. I know it's something that I've spoken to a load of other like bike athletes, and I've experienced it myself, and it's probably not too different for you guys. Do you sometimes find it quite difficult to go away to like an event, whether it's strongman or whether it's any of these other like arena events you do, thousands of people there, you're competing, you're doing all that stuff, and then you come back to the Highlands of Scotland, which is still home, and I'm sure you're glad to be back. Do you ever find that sort of few days after a contest like pretty, like, just the sort of downness of it?
Yeah, I mean, just banging the head down, you know, like, I didn't experience that, like I said, till I did the big shows. Even at World's Strongest Man there, the Baz used, there was a lot of people there, and came home, and I was down for, like, I was doing the media, but I was more down on myself. But like, yeah, the giant, so the big master, so like the big master 10, 20,000 shows, you know, I come back home, but I'm on a depressing, even if I win second, third place, for 2 or 3 days, I just don't want to talk to no one. It's weird. I don't know if it's the adrenaline and like everything's just going out your body, but I literally just kind of same as you know, like just 2 days, want to lock myself in the house, don't want to see anybody, don't want to face anyone, and I feel so drained, like I can't get out of bed. It feels like the worst. I feel like the worst thing in the world, but it's weird. I don't know. I can't explain why it does it. It just happens, you know. Every single comp I've done, I do that all the time. It's just like for the next 2 days afterwards, 3 days, you don't see me. Like I'm locked in my house, don't see me at the gym, stay away from people. My wife even stays away from me a wee bit. But yeah, it must be the adrenaline and maybe like, you know, the kind of going back to reality bit kicking in, I think, as well, because, you know, when you're competing at all these events, you're kind of, you're getting things done for you, you know, like your food's there for you, you don't have to worry about nothing, and then 20,000 people, 10,000 people screaming at you, you know, you're loving it, and then you go back home, you're like, I'm back to reality now, you know, you're a bit depressed, everything's worn off, you're looking at videos like, oh geez, I wish I was still there. So that's what I kind of get from it. But yeah, I get a bad depression, you know.
Yeah, it's mad. It's almost like ironic, because people would expect like
the other way
opposite
around.
thing, like, right, you've just won, you're gonna go home, you're gonna be fucking buzzing. But it's just and it does come out of it. Well, I don't know. Like, I know for myself, it's like 2 days, and then it's then
no,
you're
that's
like,
the same with me, because even with World, it's like I had the media pounding on me, but like even then I was just like, I landed in Glasgow and I was like, I had a wee bit of a downer. I was like, what the heck? Like, I've just won World's Strongest Man, and
that like compounds a little bit.
And I'm like, the whole way up the road, because my dad and that came down for me, I was just kind of like, why am I kind of quiet? Why am I not like jumping up and down? But it's just, I think it's just because, like I said, you know, you're going back to reality. What you've done's kind of drained you and stuff, and you just got all that adrenaline gone, and it's just, yeah, you can't actually explain it. It's just a weird, like you said, you should be like going on top of the car, dancing like, there's one, you know, we're the best in the world, or my football team's won, or blah, blah, this. But yeah, because I've talked to a lot of people, like a lot of kind of professionals in team sport as well, and they even say that, like, if they go and win like their rugby league or football league or tennis matches or whatever, they get that drain, and just for 2 days afterwards, they just, like, they don't feel like they've won the title until 2 days after, till they come out that hole, and then they're like, wow, I've won it, you know. So it's weird. It's a really weird feeling, you know. I think because when I come, like, even if I come last, any position I come, it's just a weird feeling, man. You'd think if you came last, sorry, you'd be like that, but not first or second or first.
I guess if you come last, you can then like come back, or you like come away from the event and you're like, right, well, what do I need to do?
You know what to do.
Come first. Whereas you come first, you come back and you're like, oh, like, what's next?
Get me back to Five Guys and that, you know. But yeah, it is a really weird thing to be, you know, to be kind of depressed and kind of anxious and, you know, all that kind of negative feelings when you've done something that's like not many people have done, or, you know, you've ridden your bike faster than anyone, you're like, wow, I feel crap, you know. It's a really weird, you can't explain it. People have to actually experience it for them to actually think, because people will be listening like, that's not right, you know, that's
like,
not
listen to these fucking couple of dicks whining. He's just like, why do you complain about this?
But you do get, I just think for me it's just the overwhelmingness and all the drain, like you drain, you know, because you've worked, like, because in my prep, you know, you work so hard and you don't really get that much time to kind of chill and, you know, take it all in, and then obviously everything's happens like this. You go back home, you're like, everything's just come on top of me now, you know. So, but it's a bad feeling. I never look forward to the 2 days after, ever, you know. At least
it's only a couple of days. So do you then just like do you just start getting straight back into it after that?
Yeah, usually we do, but I had a wee injury in my hamstring, so like I promised Sinead and my family this year that if I won, I would like enjoy spending time with them and have a few parties. So you know, that's what I did. I've partied every weekend since I've been back.
Nice.
I'm going to hold my hands up, and we're all human, you know. So you know, because I missed that out, you know, like November to June, I missed a lot of kind of opportunities, you know, to go out and have some fun and staying with friends. So I thought, right, stuff it, you know, I'm going to come back. Inverness actually, Revolution put on something for us, and Botanic House as well. So they, you know, they hosted like myself and a few friends and stuff, and family. So that was a really nice thing to do. And then I went out to watch the football last week. It was meant to be a quiet one or two, but the pub, my local pub, bought me a meal and a few drinks, and I ended up going to a house party afterwards. So, you know, but I just want to enjoy myself just now, because I've worked so hard, and I've got competitions coming up, but they're never as big as World's Strongest Man. You know, it doesn't matter what anyone says, that is the pinnacle of the sport. So Monday was when I started back, so I feel like a kid again, because everything's aching. Like, this is the worst. I hate this, you know, my pecs, tricep, everything, so it feels like I just restarted all over again. But yeah, Monday I'm back, and then I'll be training this whole week, and then I'm travelling next week, and then I'm in London, and then the comp. So yeah, it's busy.
Is the next thing at Albert Hall then?
Yeah, Albert Hall, London. Yeah, so.
And when's that?
24th of July.
24th of July, and like people just like, if anyone's listening in London want to go to
it, if you want to come see us. Yeah, go online on the Giants Live. It's giantslive.com, I think, and there's tickets there. So yeah, it'd be a cool thing to see some people there. But yeah, that'll be fun. But the travelling is hectic right now. Jeez, man, I didn't think I was going to be a tourist. That's what I was going to say.
And you're going to be in Glasgow as well, right? Later on in the year. I'm going to try and come to that.
Yeah, so I'm in Glasgow in, I think it's October the 18th. No, sorry, September the 18th. Yeah, September the 18th is the Glasgow one.
That's in the first one.
Yeah, the first thing is it's the first one in Scotland. I think it's going to be attractive a lot of people because I've got the trophy. So I'm a massive Glasgow Rangers fan, so I know.
Oh, you shouldn't have told me. Wouldn't have had you on if I knew that. Like.
Oh well, you know. So a lot of people from that side, from Glasgow, like Rangers actual directors and stuff, are going to come. You know, I do a lot of stuff with them now, so it's cool. And Drew McIntyre, the wrestler, I don't know if you know him. He's a Scottish-born WWE champion of the world.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
He's in UK for that date as well, so I think he's going to come along. So it'd be cool to see some celebrity faces, but last some Scottish guys. So
it's got potential to be like one of the first like big events that loads of people be at. So like between that, you winning that, it'll be pretty.
I mean, I think it's the last. I think it's like the second last one of the year, so it's quite a way 10. You know, having that in Scotland and the world champion there as well. That's quite a cool kind of. It makes it more sweeter because if it was just us going as like 5th and 6th place in the world, it wouldn't mean as much. But because the kind of best in, I'm the world champion, I'm like, oh, let's get tickets for this. Yeah. The first one in Scotland, and it's only an hour away from where we live. Because usually Scottish guys have to travel to England to come see us, and you know, now they can actually travel an hour, 2 hours to come see us. So it's good, you know.
I need to come and try and watch that.
Definitely.
Sounds like a good day.
Get drunk with your friends.
I was going to say, can you? Because I'm used to going to like football. Sometimes you can't.
You
can't
can
have
get
a beer
steamed.
there.
I've had mates there. They've been in backstage and started going mental. Oh my god! Yeah, you can get.
Is it like the dart? Have you ever been to the darts before?
Yeah, I've never been, but I've watched it. Yeah, so it's kind of like that. It's such good
like
atmosphere.
A good party atmosphere. Like,
it's mad.
Darts is a good crack. Sounds great. Like sold. Cool. Well, I reckon we'll wrap it up. We've had you for a while now, man. Thanks so much for coming on. Before you go though, where can folk? I'm sure they probably already follow you. So you're blowing up the internet. Instagram, YouTube. Where can they find you?
Yeah,
guys?
so it got me on Instagram is Tom Stoltman Official. YouTube Stoltman Brothers. Facebook is Tom the Albatross Stoltman, and then Twitter's at Stoltman Tom. So that's all my social media.
And you guys got, where did you get the all the merchandise and stuff?
Merchandise is StoltmanBrothers.com. We're running out of stock just now, but it's going to come back in. But yeah, all our kind of everything's there if you want to look at it all. So yeah, social medias are on there as well. Everything. So
cool. And then podcast coming soon as well.
Yeah, there's going to be there's going to be a Stoltman takeover in the Highlands. Podcasts, recovery centres up here. So yeah, it's going to be cool. So
the empire's building.
Yes, 100%.
Nice one. Cheers, dude. That's been class.
Thank you very much.
Thanks very much.